So in this video, you're going to go through all of these questions. I'll teach you how to solve for x, thoroughly give you some examples, and then answer these exam questions, and then also solve for x and y simultaneous. So this is simultaneous equations, and then answer 1.3. It's a brilliant question. I love it. Boom. Finally, we're doing grade 12 mathematics paper 1 November 2024, and we're doing question 1. This is our last question of this paper. We've went through it. We've went through the whole series. Please check out all other previous videos. Like, we've done all the questions, okay? And this is our last question, question 1. So let's go through it. Solve for x. I'll go through it with you. I've done so many videos on how to solve for x, but I'll go through them again with you. So here they say you got x, and x minus 3 is equal to 0, and you have to solve for x. So what you need to know here is if you have a times b is equal to 0, one of the two must be equal to 0, essentially. It's either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. So if you have x times x minus 3 is equal to 0, it's either x is equal to 0 or x minus 3 is equal to 0. And x minus 3 could be written as x is equal to 3. And that's how you solve for 1.1.1. So for 1.1.2, let's wrap this off. And they say this here. They say solve and into the correct two decimal places. And they're giving you a hint here that you need to use what you call a quadratic formula, right? And the quadratic formula says x is equal to minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, that's what you're going to be using. And how do we do that? So you have 2x squared plus 1 is equal to 4x. This could be written as 2x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, of course, this is your a value, this is your b value, this is your c value. You substitute in this equation, and then you solve for x. So what do we have? We have x is equal to minus, what is b? Is minus 4, c minus 4, plus or minus b minus 4 squared minus 4 times a is 2, c is 1 divided by 2 times a. A is 2. So you have x is equal to minus positive, so you put 4 plus or minus 4 squared, negative 4 squared is 16, minus 4 times 2, that's 8 times 1 is still 8 divided by 4. So if x is equal to 4 plus 16 minus 8, that is just 8, so square root of 8 divided by 4, or x is equal to 4 minus square root of 8 divided by 4. And you can just punch this in your calculator and make sure that it's in the correct two decimal places, and you get your answers. Right, so that's your 4 marks. Of course, you get a mark for your answers. However, get a mark for plugging it correctly, get a mark for your answers, and get a mark for just that. Now let's go to 1.1.3. So 1.1.3 get very interesting. And this, by the way, you're always going to be getting these type of questions in the same sequence, right? So if you understand this, you understand another question that they're going to give it to you in the final exam. So let's do it together. You got x squared minus 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. So you're solving for x when this equation is positive, right? That's what they're saying. So we can able to just solve for x, get the x factors. So if x and x, and the x factors here is basically 1 and 3, because if you say 1 times 3, you get 3. But if you also, we need to find a way to, if we minus or add these two factors, we must get negative 2. So for example, if I say this minus 3 and this is positive 3, positive 3 times minus 3 is definitely negative 3. And also positive 1 minus 3, that's definitely negative 2. So this can be positive 1 and minus 3. Why? Because the product of the two, they gave me negative 3, and the addition of the two, they gave me negative 2. Okay, and then your answer will be x plus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, your x is equal to negative 1, or your x is equal to negative 3. And we're not done, right? What are we doing? We're looking for values of x where this is positive. So we're going to introduce a number line, okay, where we have negative 1 and 3, and it's open because it's open dots because of it's greater than. However, if it was greater than or equal to, you're going to have what you call closed dots. This has marks, by the way. So remember that. This has marks. If it's closed dots, it's like this, right? If it's open dots, it's like this, right? It depends on your sign. Therefore, what you're going to do is now you're going to take any value between negative 1 and 3, any value, plug it into this equation and see if you get a positive number or negative number. So let's take any value. Let's take 0. You can take any value you want. You can take 2, you can take whatever, right? Or 1, whatever. Let's take 0. If you take 0, you're going to have 0, 0, and you have negative 3. So your values between negative 1 and 3 is negative. It's a negative value. And you can take any value again that is greater than 3. Take any value that is greater than 3. Let's take what? 4, right? If you take 4, you have 4 squared minus 2 times 4 minus 3. That is 16 minus 8 minus 3. And that is 8 minus 3, that is 5. It's a positive value. So you have positive, okay, above 3. And let's take any value again. Can take any, this actually can take with any value really. Let's take any value less than negative 1. So let's say negative 2, because less than negative 1. Substitute here, you're gonna have what, 4 plus 4 minus 3, right? It's 8 minus 3, and that is what, 5. And it's positive, so you get positive values aside. You can just do this, punch in your calculator and get your answers. And from here, and we remember we're looking for values when it's positive. So it's positive when it's facing that direction, it's positive when it's facing these directions, opposite directions. So it's positive when facing that direction, it's positive when facing that direction. Therefore, x should be less than negative 1, or x should be greater than 3. Does this make sense? Right, so this is always going to come in exam, and this is how you're always going to answer it. And this has marks, right? And remember, this is just 4 marks. And most of the time, your mark, you get it from this number line. You get a mark for this and that. And you get a mark for your factors. That's how you get your 4. Is it 4 marks? Yes, 4 marks. That's how you get your 4 marks. Okay, let's do 1.1.4. So a number line in this question, 1.1.3 was important. But in 1.1.4, it's a little bit different. It's tricky, but easier. But they're always going to be asking you the same type of questions. So if you understand this one, you're going to definitely understand the rest of the question they're going to be asking you. Okay, so look at this. So this could be written as, for example, 2x. This could be written as 2x times 2 power 2 minus 32. Right? So if I give you my notes, so if you have, for example, if you got a power b times c, this could be written as a power bc, right? Okay, that's one note I'm giving to you. And another note I'm giving to you that you're going to be using, if you have a power b plus c, this could be written as a power b and a power c. And that's what we were using here. Okay, it was 2 power x plus 2. It's going to be 2 power x and 2 power 2. Okay, and we can also simplify this using this here. This could be written as 2 power x power 2, right? So this is a minus because of that minus, so minus, this could be like 2 squared, that's 4 times 2 power x minus 32 is equal to 0. If you look at it like this, it's confusing, but if you let y is equal to 2 power x, it looks easier because now it's going to be y squared minus 4y minus 32 is equal to 0. Do you follow? Now, if this is the case, we can now just simplify this with our knowledge on how to simplify. You can use a lot of things. You can use the quadratic formulas. You can use whatever. It's really up to you. And if you look at this, for example, if you get like the factors of 32, you have 1 times 32. You have 2 times 16 is 32. You have 4 times 8 that's 32. Right? And so on. And these are like factors of 32. And these factors of 32, if we look at 4 times 8, you can able to say 4 minus 8 is equal to negative 4, which is that negative 4. And 4 times negative 8 is equal to negative 32, which is this negative 32. So this is our factors. So what I'm saying is, if I take y and y, and I add a 4 and minus 8, we should be able to get this answer here. Right, so you got y plus 4 is equal to 0, or y minus 8 is equal to 0. So y is equal to negative 4, y is equal to negative positive 8. So those are your values, those are your values, but you're not done. Remember, y is equal to 2 power x, right? And this is not applicable. This can never be done. Why? Because we cannot have a value. This is not. We can never have a value where it's 2 power x and negative negative 4, a negative number. That's not possible. However, this could be possible. 2x is equal to 8. And 2 power x, 8, it could be written as 2 power 2. And remember, there is some note. Let me give you some note. If we have a power b and you have a power c, therefore b and c are equal. Also, that's what you're going to be having here. So your answer here says that x is equal to 2. So x is equal to 2. And this is not defined. Why? Because you cannot have this situation here. And yeah, so that's how you get your pretty much 5 marks. And I think it deserves 5 marks. It definitely deserves 5 marks. There's a lot of thinking involved here, but they're always going to be asking the same question. And I want us to go to 1.1.5 because it's also now a different type of question of solving for x. And I hope you are paying attention because we are moving forward and we're doing something amazing here. I want you to, if you don't catch, if you're falling behind, don't, let me know. Type a question number or ask a specific question. I'm happy to meet you in the comments. So for 1.1.5, they say that you have 1.1.15, they say that you have negative 2x plus 4 minus x equal to 2. Okay, of course, this could be written as negative 2x plus 4 is equal to 2 plus x. I mean, what you need to actually remember here is this. If you have square root of a is equal to b, therefore, square a could be written as b squared. So what I'm saying is, this could be written negative 2x plus 4 is equal to 2 plus x squared. Okay, and if that's the case, and again, if you have a plus b squared, this could be written as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, just removing the bracket. So we can also do that here. You have negative 2x plus 4. This could be written as 2 squared minus 2 times x times 2, that is 4x plus x squared. Okay, and again, this could be written as, I can take this, well, I can say negative 2x, let's just put everything on the left hand side, plus 4, rather, let me just say 4 2 squared is 4. Then I could just do this. So this is 4. So that I save my paper. So minus 4. This is going to be positive 4x. This is minus x squared equal to 0. I'm taking everything to my left hand side. Everything changes signs. And you have, if you group the like terms, this and this is 0. Negative 2x plus 4x is positive 2x. And we have negative 2, positive 2x. And negative x squared is equal to 0. And from here, it's easy. Why? Because everything is just something wrong here. Am I tripping or what? I mean, if you look at it, there's something wrong here. Like you have 2x and this. Figure out x is gonna be 2 minus x is equal to 0. Oh yeah. So you're gonna have 2. Figure out x here. Gonna be x 2 minus x is equal to 0. If you fix out x, or x equal to 0, or 2 minus s equal to 0. Remember our note, we said if you have a times b is equal to 0, therefore a is either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0, either or. Okay, so therefore x is equal to 2. Are we making sense? All right, I feel like there's something wrong here. I've done this question before and this didn't get 0 and 2. What did I do wrong? I'm not gonna cut this off. I'm trying to figure out this together. It's 2x 2 times 2. Oh wait, where did I get this negative here? You know why this is wrong? Because if I look at it in my head, because you always have to check your answers, right? For example, if I plug x here, that's gonna be square root of 4, which is actually equal to 2. So this is fine. But this, I'm questioning it because you have negative 4 plus 4, which is 0, and you have negative 2 is equal to 2. And that's not true. That's what I'm saying. That's not true. So, and I went back and trying to figure out and realized this is where I made my mistake here. Because this is 4 squared and 2 times 2. That is 2x. This is 2x times 2. There's 4. Not negative 4. Positive 4. So, if I then come here, we have negative. So, this becomes negative 6x, because we're looking at negative 2x and negative 4. And again, so therefore this becomes negative 6. And this becomes negative 6 minus x. Therefore, x is equal to negative 6. Right, so those are your answers. And negative 6 is not a problem as well. And negative 6 is a problem. This is not possible. This is your answer, but it's not possible. Why is not possible? It's because this should be always positive. So yeah, I'm saying this is not possible. Why? Because negative 2x plus 4 should be always positive. And we know negative 2x plus 4 is equal to 2 plus x. So I'm saying 2 plus x should be always positive. Therefore, x should always be greater than negative 2 for this to hold. And x is less than negative 2. If it's less than negative 2, it doesn't hold. Why? Because if you put, let's say, put any value as negative 2, and you punch this in your calculator, it's gonna break. Your calculator won't gonna allow this. So if you put like a -6 here, it's not gonna happen. The calculator's gonna break. We don't want this value to be negative. We always want this value on the square root to be always 0 or positive. So that's your final answer. So that is why it's 4 marks. Okay, that makes sense, because you're gonna get a mark for identifying this is not valid. Get a mark for this is 2 marks, and then you get a mark get a mark for that as well. You're gonna get a 2 mark for this, for getting x equal to -6 and identifying that actually x can never be equal to -6, and your answer is just x equal to 0. So great, let's go to 1.2. Let me know if you got confused in this question. It's such a brilliant question, and I hope I'm also teaching you how to have to gain some intuition when you're doing your maths. Like there's always something that would something wrong here, and I hope you gain that type of insights, because the more you do these maths questions, you get those insight, those intuition to say, no, I might be doing something wrong here. So for 1.2, it's a simultaneous equation. So you got 3 first equation, and you got second equation, and you can find the third equation, right? You can maybe using here and solve for y as the third equation, and solve for as the third equation. Let's make it complicated. Let's solve for x as a third equation. That's gonna be x is equal to 3 minus y, right? And divided by 2 on both sides. So your x is gonna be 3 minus y divided by 2. So meaning where there is x in the second equation, put 3 minus y divided by 2. So we're substituting 3 into equation 2. So you have y squared plus x, and x we said is 3 minus y divided by 2 times y is equal to 2. So this is equal to y squared, and of course if you have a over b times c, this is just ac over b, right? Even if you have a plus b over c times d, this is just what? A d plus b d over c. So what I'm saying to you is this is equal to 3y minus y squared over 2 is equal to 2. And we can actually just times by 2 all throughout, so you can remove this 2 here. So you're going to have 2y squared, and if I times this by 2, this 2 and this 2 cancel, you end up with 3y minus y squared. And I also have to do the same thing on my right hand side. So 2 times 2, that is 4. So you end up with this. And now grouping the like terms, 2y minus y squared, that is y squared plus 3y minus 4 is equal to 0. Right, so now you got this simple equation, and you can able to solve for this actually. So this is y, and I mean you can do 1 and 4 as vectors, because, and then and if I put a minus here and a positive here, we have -1 times 4. -1 times 4 is -4. And -1 plus 4 is positive 3. So that's fine. So if y minus 1 is equal to 0, or y plus 4 is equal to 0, which is y is equal to 1, or y is equal to -4. Now we got the y values, and we need to find the x values. So we're saying for y is equal to 1, we got 2x plus 1 is equal to 3. I'm substituting in this equation. So your x is equal to 3 minus 1 divided by 2, which is just 1. Okay. And for y is equal to -4, what do you have? We get x is equal to we got 2x. Listen, we are substituting it here, right? But also we can substitute it here, right? So you can just say, you don't have to redo this because we've already done it. Okay, you don't have just to redo the example. Your x is equal to 3 minus, and remember it's negative 4, so plus 4 divided by 2, so x equal to 7 over 2. So and you get that. How many marks? Is 5 marks? Yeah. So get a mark, a mark, a mark, and a mark. And you get a mark for equation 3. That's how you get your 3 or 5 marks here. So it's 1, 7 over 2 and 1 negative 4. And I can't wait to do 1.3 with you. And this is our last question. 1.3 is our last question. And I'm happy to be here. And this is our last question in the series. And I hope you have found value of this series. And I hope all the best with your exam. I'm hoping that you do well in your exam. If you use this series to study for your exam, I guarantee you get like a good pass, and you'll definitely succeed for your endeavors. And let's do 1.3. This is for students who want to get a total in their exam. However, this type of questions are always gonna come, and they're very easy. You just have to read them, and you get your understanding going, and it's easy to win from there. So they're saying consider a product of, and they give you like a product of sequences, right? And then each factor in the product is form of 1 plus 1 over n, and n is greater than 2. And then they say determine all values of n for which the product will be an integer value. Now remember integers. What are integers? Integers are just element from 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are integers, right? Those are integers. The integers, the sign is like this as well, z. So those are integers. 1, 2, 3, and 4, going forward. So we're trying to figure out what is the value of n when you get the products. Remember, product is just a multiplication of the two terms. That's a product. If you get a product, what is the value of n? So what they're saying is for n is equal to 2, right? Because we're starting from n is equal to 2. We have 1 plus 1 over 2, okay? And this is basically 1 plus 1 over 2. You can punch this in your calculator. It's just 3 over 2, okay? For n is equal to 3, right? Is still, right? It's still 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 plus 1 over 3. Remember, we're talking about product. So it's 3 over 2 times 1 plus 1 over 2. Okay, 3 over 2, 1 plus 1 over 2 is 1.5, right? Which is, if you punch this in your calculator, you should get 2 plus 1 is 3 over, is it 3 over 2? Am I tripping? No, it's 3. Yeah. Okay, sorry, it's 3. 1 plus 1 over 3, that is 3, 4 over 3. Okay, if you multiply this 2, of course, this and this will cancel the 4 over 2, which is 2. So you have 4 over 2, which is 2. Now for n is equal to 4, you have 4 over 2 times, which is 2, of course, 1 plus 1 over 4, right? Which is 4 over 2 times, this is, punching your calculator, you get 5 over 4, which is 5 over 2. For, let me do for last one. You can, like, just to get a pattern, right? We're trying to figure out a pattern here, where what is the value of n when you get an integer. I've already found the first integer, which is 2, right? And I guess this might be 2 as well, because this is an odd number, this is an even number, maybe an odd number. Let's see. So you get 5 over 2 times, what's the next value is 1 plus 1 over 5, right? Remember, it's been 2, 3, 4, right? This is 2, 3, 4. So the 5 therefore is going to be 1 plus 1 over 5. It's the fifth value. So you have 5 over 2 times 1 plus 1 over 5, that is 6 over 5, which is 6, which is equal to 6 over 2, then that is 3. Ah, brilliant. So you have 2. When n is 3 is an integer, and when n is 5 is an integer. Now you see that for every value of n, let me just remove these integers, for n is greater than 2 and n an odd number, so odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7, like n is 3, 5, 7, we're starting with 3 because our n is greater than 2. Then the product will be an integer value. And it's just 3 marks, right? And your 3 marks, you get it just to say this and saying that and showing us how you work it out. And that's how you get your 3 marks. I hope you enjoyed this series. The series has been amazing. It's been challenging, it's been fun, and I've definitely enjoyed all of my questions, right? From question 1, question 2, 4, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12. And we've done everything that you're supposed to learn in an entire year, right? Within few weeks. And if you follow through in this series, you definitely deserve a distinction. And yeah, all the best. And if you have a question paper that you'd like me to do, please let me know in the comments, and I'm looking forward to that.